Why, oh, why? Why ask why? Let's not ask why. Let's just pretend it didn't happen. Good morning, everybody. My name is Sean Shapiro. This is Ask a Traffic Cop. That's what we are, right? Ask a Traffic Cop. Yes. And joining me today is Aaron Urquhart, Parking Enforcement Officer Extraordinaire. We are talking about stuff and things related to everything, but most importantly, related to you. Those people who drive, who use the roads as a pedestrian, as a cyclist, if you are gliding through your day on rollerblades, whatever the case may be, we have information that you may find useful because we talk about traffic safety and traffic law, stuff and things that matter to you. If you have questions, ask them in the Q&A. That is the TikTok and Instagram button that allows you to get a message to me, because if you're asking in chat, know that I will not be answering, for I do not read it. I should actually start paying attention to the Twitter feeds, because Twitter's integration with our live stream software isn't working right now, because we are also broadcasting on YouTube, Twitch, LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter. So you can watch on Twitter, but you can't interact. You can't ask questions. And we want you to ask questions. We want to hear from you. You are important. Trust me. Because if it wasn't for you, we wouldn't be here. Let's get into it. Today is the 6th of May. We covered that. It's not March. It's not February. It's not April. We are officially in the month of May, and it's the 6th. We covered that? Okay. I'm a little punchy this morning. I've had too much coffee, I think. Well, we talk about Vision Zero Enforcement Team every time we do this show. And where are they today? They are in 12 Division. They are in 53 Division. And those two divisions, well, they service a couple of neighborhoods, actually a lot of neighborhoods. Some of those neighborhoods are Weston, Mount Dennis, Rockcliffe, Smythe, Lawrence Park, Yonge and Eglinton, Rosedale, Leaside. Those are neighborhoods in Toronto, and that's where they are. What are they doing out there? What are the fine folks from Vision Zero Enforcement Team doing? Well, they are working diligently to make the roads safer for everyone. They're doing it by way of enforcement. No hugs, no kittens, no lollipops. It's tickets at the issue, and they do that because they're trying to change driver behavior. They are looking for drivers who are speeding, driving aggressively, driving distracted, or driving impaired. Why? Because those driver behaviors lead to serious injury and death on our roads, and we want it to stop. We know that collisions, those minor ones, fender benders, they're going to happen. We get it. They're inevitable. But the ones that lead to serious injury and death are both preventable and totally unacceptable, and they're doing their part, and they're doing a great job. They are augmenting the work already done by magical officers in those divisions who are focused on all sorts of things. They have a wide number of responsibilities. The folks who come in from Vision Zero, who are directed to attend by way of the big brain people in our analytics department, they are there to help. They go to different divisions every day. If you want to find out where they're going tomorrow, well, you should probably wait till Monday, because we're going to be posting on Monday where they go, and that's going to be at Traffic Services. 7 a.m. we post it, and then you'll know it, and then you'll know how you can go about meeting one of these fine officers. All you have to do is break the law, and they will be there to catch you. All right, let's get into folks who are watching by way of Restream. We've got a Kayla Draconis who says, greetings and salutations. Caitlin's coming in, says, good morning, Sean and Q. Happy Friday. I'm about to drive, so I have you on Bluetooth in the car. Don't worry, I'm not watching. Good point. You know how else you can participate and listen to us when you're driving? Aside from, by the way, good job on the Bluetooth with no screen on. But you could do it by listening to our podcast. We have 3 episodes that have already been published. It's available wherever podcasts are posted. So if you use Apple Podcasts, that's great. Spotify, that works. Amazon, it's even on the Amazon podcast app. And that is the TPS Traffic Jam. It's a different show. It is interview style. First 2 episodes with our friends from Turf. The most recent episode was with Aaron, and we have lots of great people lined up to be on the show. And if you think you know somebody who should be on our show because they contribute to traffic safety, or they have something that would benefit our audience, let us know. Email us. You can get me at trafficsafetyprograms@torontopolice.on.ca. Okay, moving along. We have Big Jeff Fresh with a good morning coming in from Twitch. And, of course, Tracy Bell from LinkedIn is saying hello, good morning from beautiful Stony Creek by the lake, Sean and Aaron. And Q is noticing the fact that there are different platforms, and she is on Twitch today just to change it up. Okay, let's get into some Q&A, because it's Friday, and it's all about Q&A. It's all about you. Oh, you were responding to Jeff? Yeah, fine. Make it all about Jeff. Okay. Okay, someone with a genius question. What do you think about drifting on highways? Well, highways are any road in Ontario. I assume you mean the expressways. Drifting anywhere is stunt driving. So, yeah, that's the deal. You can't do it. It's illegal. We'll take your car for 14 days. We'll suspend your license for 30, and that's for your first offense. It escalates from there. Stunt driving is not acceptable. Doesn't matter where you're doing it. Doesn't matter if it's private or public property. If you are going to stunt drive, we're going to take your stuff. And, you know, there's people who are saying that we shouldn't just be suspending licenses. We should be taking them forever. Well, after your third conviction, that's exactly what happens. And others who say we should take your car and crush it. But that's something that they do in Australia. They call it hoon laws. So if you're someone who doesn't know how to drive to the point of it being called stunt driving, even though you think it's skilled, we consider it not knowing how to drive. Yeah, they crush cars. So what do you think? Let me know in the comments. Do you think we should be crushing cars? I don't think it's going to be a popular one, but let's see what happens. Okay. Is it legal to be that handsome in the morning? I have a permit, so I'm okay.
You need to like boom
on your sound. No, not wrong button.
As we work through the buttons, guys.
Yeah.
I have a. Oh wait, if I can navigate through many pages of sound effects, and I could have a ba-dum dum, but you know what? I that's the first time I've ever really needed it. So. Ba-dum dum. Ba-dum-bum? What? Which one is it?
It's the drums. The drum cymbal. Boom, you know? We're getting carried away.
Okay, let's move. Moving on.
It's Friday. It's Friday.
I want it to stop. Make it stop. Okay. Apparently that one will not let me stop it after it starts. Okay, whatever. Let me pressing that button again.
Laughing so
Oh, yes. It's good to have a Friday. Let's see here. Can you insure a car that's not registered to you? I believe you can. That's going to be up to the insurance company as to whether or not they allow you to. That is between you and a private company, not you and the government. Registration happens with the ministry. Insurance is, again, private company. I believe you can do that. Will people look at you funny if you're involved in a collision and your insurance information doesn't match your driver's license and doesn't match your ownership? Yeah, they will. And if it's done for the purposes of getting lower rates, well, that's going to be something that will cause major issues. That's going to be insurance fraud. So be very careful and make sure you are on the up and up with full disclosure to everyone involved. Let's move on.
I have a question.
Okay, question.
So when we give you our physical license, it's black and white. When you pull it up on the computer, is it in color?
The photograph?
Yes, the photo.
I think it is. I believe it is. Is my photo not in color?
It is in color.
No, on your driver's license. When's the last time I've looked at it? Is it in color or black and white?
No, it's
It's in black and white?
Everybody
Okay.
pulls
Now we're
out
all
their
checking.
driver's
No,
license.
yes, there are 325 people on TikTok who just reached into their pocket. 6 people on. No, I'm not going through all the stats of all the different channels watching because we have channels. It is black and white. How long has it been that I've looked at my driver's license not to realize? But it is color on the screen. So yes, we know what color your hair is when we watch it on the screen. What is this? Is it true you can move a traffic ticket to 8 months? I don't know what you mean. Like, can you go to a court and get it done in 8 months? I don't know. Right now, there's severe backlog. I don't know how long things are taking at the moment, so I couldn't answer you with any level of accuracy on that front. But I think things are a lot longer than that right now. And what used to be, they used to say it was, fair. You need to have a trial within a year. That was, I believe, was doubled for the pandemic. I don't know if that's changed. What is this? Why does Ontario focus on vehicle mods so much? I don't think we focus on them at all. I think that there's a lot more work that needs to be done to enforce illegal modifications that are unsafe for the road. The truth is there's a lot of cars out there that are modified and no one's done anything about them at all. So what is the focus? It's not. It's not a focus. It is an offense, and we look at all offenses that are related to safety or identification, which relates to safety. So it's not a focus. Our priority is always has been and will continue to be the big 4. That's serious. That's the behaviors that lead to serious injury and death. You're speeding, you're aggressive driving, you're distracted driving, you're impaired driving. Will we do other things? Yeah. We will write anything we find because that's what we do. That's what we do. Q wants us to put a poll up as to how many people just put their hand in their pocket to confirm. Okay, we'll do a poll. Just because it's Friday. Let's see here. Start. So happy face if you Put your hand in your pocket and check your driver's license. Sad face if you didn't. I don't know. Yes, no. It's the only way to differentiate. 3 said no. 1 said yes. We'll check the stats in a second. I had someone grab it for me, so I didn't have to check. But most people are saying no, they didn't check their license. But 16 people have said yes, they did. So you know what? It's a lot of people know what they're talking about. Knew that black and white wasn't a thing. But me, I questioned it because I don't stare at pictures of myself when I'm not on camera, because right now I'm staring directly at myself on three different cameras, 3 different screens with my mug on it. It's a little weird. I don't need to look at my pictures any. I had enough of myself after the hour a day that we do this on the air.
Right.
And Asif is the one who showed me his driver's license. It was a pretty good picture there, brother. Yeah, you ever thought about a career in modeling? Now that I've seen your driver's license. Mandela effect.
Did you not see his display picture on the green screen?
Yeah. Oh, there you go. He really is a model. Look at that. Okay. What is it? Oh, Big Jet Fresh says that Twitch has an audio-only mode. It's easier on data when he's at work. Very good point. You know what? I hadn't thought about that, but it is a very good point. And it's a safety option for those who want to listen when they are, mobile, because we don't want you watching while you drive. Obviously, that would be illegal and unsafe, which is even worse than illegal. Tassos hasn't been here in a while, but he's here watching in chat or interacting in chat. And Emma's here, and Q's here, and who else is here? Shout out to all the moderators. We have a magical band of besties who help us out on a regular basis. They come into all our lives. They help us keep it safe and friendly in here. And you know what? Please thank them for their service, because they're volunteers. They're not police officers, not paid members. They're just doing it because they love you. That's what it is. If you don't mind, double tap or quadruple. No, just tap until your fingers go numb. That's what you can do on TikTok or Instagram Live. It'll help the algorithm identify the fact that we are just, the cat's rear end here. The cat's hiney. If you do that, the algorithm will apparently give us, what are they? Nothing. They give us nothing, but potentially send more people our way. No free toasters coming our way, but we do appreciate it. Also, if you don't mind, we have 7 people who've already have already shared this live. But we'd love it if you share it with people that respect you, because if they respect you, they'll take your suggestions seriously, and suggesting that they come here is great. And in case Ms. Braun is watching, good morning. We had a great conversation this morning all about traffic safety and bicycle safety. So we'll do some chatting about bicycle safety in a little bit. It's a serious issue. We care about cyclists. We care about everybody who's using the road. That's what we do here. We're the Care Bears. Are we the Care Bears? No, we're not. We're not particularly.
I bet you there's some people in this chat who don't even know who and what the Care Bears are.
Come on.
I would hope they would.
I grew up in an age of Care Bears.
So did
yes.
I.
Hey, Harold Wax checked his license. He's coming in from LinkedIn, my brother from another mother. We have a Kayla Dracona says, license is black and white, security pass is color. He checked both IDs because once he questioned one, he questioned the other. Q has put up the link to support Special Olympics and win a Harley Davidson, harleyraffle.ca. Thank you for throwing that up there. Q regularly throws up on the screen. But the deal is that we are supporting Special Olympics Ontario by way of telling everybody about this wonderful opportunity that you could buy a raffle ticket, maybe win a Harley Davidson, and support Special Olympics Ontario in the process. It's a 2021 Street Glide, if I'm not mistaken. Tickets are 1 for 20 or 3 for 50, and you can't win if you don't play. So buy a ticket. There's only 7,000 available, and again, proceeds go to support the wonderful work that Special Olympics Ontario does. We're working on a video with our friend, featuring our friend Erica, who's a Special Olympian, who came into the studio and recorded a spot to help promote, and we're just working on editing some footage, and then we'll be putting that out there on TikTok and everywhere else. JC says, hey, Sean, how long does an M1 last until you have to get your M2? Funny you should ask, because I was about to put a video up where I had the incorrect information. Apparently, this was something I actually said. I said it was 70 days, and I think when I was a kid at 16, it was 70 days. Maybe I'm making that up, but for whatever reason, 70 is what I thought. 90 days is the actual number. 90 days is how long you can have your license, your M1, before you expire, and would have to either reapply if you hadn't already gotten your M2. That's the story. Sebastian says good morning, and Tracy says she already got her tickets for the Harley. Awesome. Thanks very much. Let's see here. License expires, not the person, Q wants to clarify. Okay, let's get into the more TikTok questions here. Lots going on. This is a good. I like the rhythm in today. This is good stuff. Oh, and by the way, because Aaron Urquhart is here, who is also known as TPS_Bikehart on social media, you can ask questions about traffic enforcement. You see, you can ask me, but I do not always have the answers. Aaron has answers about parking stuff. Stephen was watching Doug Ford. What did Doug have to say? Let's see here. Okay, we already covered Handsome in the morning. Let's see, what is edits? What are the rules on getting your M1 and M2? This is Motorcycle Awareness Month. We're going to talk about motorcycles, right? I think we're going to talk about motorcycles right through to September because I like motorcycles and I care about those who ride them. I care about all of you, but at the same time, we need to talk about the things that are not always in front of us, that we're not always ready to and looking for. It's a big deal. Brandon's watching on Instagram. Brandon, my old partner, is here. What's going on, Brandon? Hope you're doing well. We miss you here. And your my wife always says, where's eyebrows?
Hi, Brandon. Thanks for joining.
Yes. So apparently when I selected the question about M1, M2, and so on, I got the question from the wonderful TikTok gods that put your cars have scanners that matches plates to cars, question mark. We'll get to that one in a second because I want to finish the question about the process for M1, M2, et cetera, which I don't know if anyone at all will reference or understand the reference from M1 to M2, or no, sorry, et cetera, et cetera. Tell me what movie that is from, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. The story is that when you get your M1, it's good for 90 days. If you take your M2 course or your motorcycle education course, you can actually get it, I believe, after 30 or 60 days, you can put the paperwork in. But essentially the regulations or the restrictions when you have your M1 are that you cannot be on highways with a speed limit over 80 kilometers an hour. You cannot ride with passengers. You cannot ride more than 30 minutes before sunrise and no more than 30 minutes after sunset. And then, of course, zero BAC, zero blood alcohol content. Beyond that, I don't think there's any restrictions with the motorcycle license or the M1. Once you get your M2, essentially you can ride. It's a probationary license. You can ride anywhere at any time. You can have passengers, but you must maintain the zero BAC. If there's more to it and I've missed it, please let me know because this is always a conversation. I'm telling you what I know, but I may not know it all. So if if you know stuff and things, share it with the community. This is a community. You know where else we have a community? We have a Discord server. Oh, yes, we do. And we'd love for you to join it. And I imagine we're going to put up a link that talks about it and how to join and become part of our community that's always chatting amongst themselves and each other. And yeah, that's what we do. We talk a lot. Your cars have scanners that matches plates to cars. So yes and no. We do have some vehicles that are currently outfitted with automatic plate scanners. That allows the computer system to read and check automatically every plate that we drive by. Now, that's something that's used by our parking enforcement officer, and there are plans to outfit these devices throughout the province of Ontario amongst all sorts of police services, not just us. That will be very interesting, and it'll come in really handy considering we've gotten rid of the license plate stickers, which means now to check if someone is expired, we have to do the data entry. This will do it automatically. I like the word automatically, and I will continue to use the word automatically. What is this? After 22 months, you can take the second road test. If you pass, you get a full M license. Really? You can do it in 22 months? Very cool. Q threw in to graduate to a full M license, you can take the second road test after 22 months. Okay, good to know. I was lucky enough that at 16 years old, I took my what was it called? It was a 70-day learner's permit. It wasn't called an M1. So I went from having that learner's permit directly to having a full M, like in a couple of months. I did not originally take my motorcycle course. I didn't take any professional training. And I ran into an instructor at in a gas station. And he says, so did you take your course? Because he was pitching courses. And I said, no. And he said, let's go to a parking lot. I'll show you some tricks. And you know what? He opened my eyes as to what I didn't know. And it was after that I enrolled in a course. Okay, what is this? Yes, I did touch on the fact that, Q is adding motorcycle tidbits. So we talked about the fact that you can't drive on highways with speeds over 80 kilometers an hour. However, there are some exceptions to that, and highways 11, 17, 61, 69, 71, 102, 101, 144, and 655 are exempt. And I guess that's because those are the only ways that folks who live in those areas can actually get home. So, yeah, those are exempt. Are mobility scooters allowed to use bicycle lanes? Let me ask the Bicycle Lane Pro. I don't think they are because they're not bicycles, but that's just me guessing.
No, they're not. And I actually see a lot of them just even on the actual roadway. And I've actually spoken or spoke
You
to
done
someone.
spoke?
Yeah, I spoke to someone who was on the road riding one. And I'm like, don't you think it'd be safer to be on the sidewalk? And she said to me that it's too bumpy because of all the cracks in the sidewalk. And I'm like,
I can understand where that would buy. They need mobility scooters with like heavy duty suspension, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not safe. There are bicycles who are going to be traveling much faster, and those scooters aren't necessarily being operated well.
no, and like they're large in size,
Some
too,
of them,
so
yeah.
it could take up the entire bike lane.
And just a shout out to Akela Draconis who did get the et cetera reference. It is the King and I. Who knew that? Well, Akela did. Okay. Sebastian wants to know if it's okay to debadge a car and put your own logo on it. Yes, there's no law that I have been able to find that says you cannot make your car your own in terms of taking off. I've even seen people who have taken lower model vehicles, purchased plastic chrome emblems online, and put on higher numbers because they want to pimp it up and make it look like they are driving the top of the line car when they may not be driving the top of the line car. Because you look at Mercedes, people who buy 400s and put 500 on it, it was because it was a larger displacement, it was a more expensive vehicle, and they wanted to make it look as though they were rolling in it. James McDonald says, someone needs to write Webster and get automatically added. I agree with you. At very least, we should have it added to what is it called? Wikipedia. And while you're at it, add a page about TikTok and the TikTok traffic cop, Sean Shapiro. We need an entry there. Jerry Agar has an entry. I need one too. Hey, if you're new to the channel, we got about 800 people watching live. Welcome to Friday with Toronto Police. We are answering your traffic and police questions. If you aren't watching or if you aren't following us, you should be, because we talk about traffic safety, traffic law, and police stuff every day, Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. And let's get into it. Is parking enforcement hiring again? We got Erin Urquhart sitting next to me, and she has answers to questions just like that.
So there hasn't been an announcement. Sorry, I can't talk today.
No announcement?
See, now you messed me up again. So there hasn't been any announcement yet of a future class, but I would assume possibly by the end of this year there will be another class. So just keep your eyes out on the TPS recruiting page, and whenever that is announced, I will be promoting,
Yes.
a parking class. So don't worry, I will be telling the world.
ambassadors. We are very much into the whole promoting the hiring process here, because we are hiring as police officers, or we are hiring police officers, and there's all sorts of positions within the Toronto Police Service that are regularly posted. You should go check out the website, www.torontopolice.on.ca/careers. Q graciously put it up on screen, and now I see that there is a comma after dub instead of a period on the one on our YouTube. But hey, people get it; they know what they're talking about. Yeah, we are hiring, so check it out. Go to that webpage, and on there you'll find everything from requirements to everything. You can even apply online, and you should go and apply if you want to be a police officer. Now is a perfect opportunity. Get in when the getting is good. When I was being hired, or when I was first applying in '99, 2000. Thank you, Q, for correcting. There was a hiring freeze, and I ended up becoming an auxiliary officer and volunteering instead of becoming a paid member in 2000 because there was no hiring opportunity. Then I became a court officer. I had so much fun as an auxiliary. I became a paid member and did that for a number of years. And then the hiring freeze was lifted, and I said, I'm good with what I'm doing right now. I wanted to get more experience. And then when I finally applied to become a police constable, guess what? There was a hiring freeze again. So when they're hiring, go apply. Don't wait. We're hiring now. Go get it. Get her on. Get her going. Get her done. That's what it is. We have a QX Queen who says, in regards to debadging, only debadge your own car. You can't go around debadging someone else's. Yes. Oh, it's you? Q, you confused me. You're on two channels? You're just working our stats? Okay. It sounded like you. So we have a question from MIB Carton. Have you ever worked with Safe Communities on TikTok? funny you should say that. We were live streaming yesterday on TikTok. They joined our live stream at the end of the hour. We were chatting for about 15, 20 minutes with them about life, the universe, and stuff. And yeah, we're going to do that on a fairly regular basis. They're even going to come into our podcast. What's our podcast? I'm glad you asked. It's called TPS Traffic Jam. It's where we jam about traffic. And yeah, we have different guests from different areas of the traffic safety policing. We've talked to people from the Traffic Injury Research Foundation. We did 2 episodes with them. We spoke to Aaron on one of them, and we are going to continue to bring in magical members of the community and the traffic safety world to talk about stuff and things. So if you go on to anywhere that podcasts are available, you can download episodes of that podcast and listen while you drive safely. Okay, is traffic cutting / swearing? Swerving?
I didn't understand that question.
I'm not sure what this question means. I thought I knew it when I selected it, but I don't know if I know it now. If you're cutting people off and swerving, yeah, that's going to be unsafe practice. It's going to be careless driving, possibly unsafe lane changes. Not sure where this is going, but let me know because I'd love to know, and then we'd answer. Can I drive my skidoo on the road? There are very specific rules around skidoo or off-road vehicle operation on roads. Some jurisdictions allow certain things. I know shoulders in rural areas allow it. Toronto, you may not. I've never actually seen anyone try that. Let's see here. Can you hang fuzzy dice in your car from the mirror in Toronto? You can. As long as you're not obscuring the driver's view, which means maybe you can't. Many people do it. It's not something that we endorse or suggest, and it could, if you put anything in your window, obstruct your view, and you could be charged for it. So I would suggest against it. Some people have a multitude of masks. Some people have a variety of air fresheners. Some pine trees hanging, and it's not a good idea. You could be hiding a pedestrian behind there and not know it. So don't do that. Let's see here. We have, what is this? Can someone with a smart car put a plate in the windshield since the windshield is right at the front with a laughing face? That is closer to the front. It's not at the front, but it is closer. And no, they can't. It has to be displayed in the appropriate location, which is the front, the actual front of the vehicle, not anything behind. Additionally, it has to be mounted in a conspicuous location, and it cannot be obstructed. And a windshield is an obstruction, even though it is transparent most of the time. Not all the time. It also has to be facing forward, not facing up. There's a number of reasons. In any case, putting it in your dashboard is making it a potential projectile in the event of collision. And oddly enough, they're like dull razor blades. Not a good example. Dull blades, a dull sword. If it would still cut you if it was flying at you at speed, don't do that. What is this? Oh, really? James McDonald says, I sometimes see commercial drivers driving along with one foot up on the dash. Would this qualify as dangerous driving? Definitely unwise. I've never seen it with a commercial driver, but I have seen people driving with their left foot out the window. It's insane. It is incredibly dangerous. I tell my kids, don't put your fingers out the window, never mind your feet. But the deal is that does it count as careless or reckless driving? Well, reckless is an American term. We have careless or dangerous in Ontario. I don't know if it would qualify as careless unless it was interrupting their ability to safely operate it. Definitely unsafe. I'd have to look into what charges would be appropriate. Maybe it would affect their seatbelt wearing. I'm not sure because they can't brace themselves if they were to. Yeah, I don't know. We can go down this rabbit hole, but we're not going to go down it right now. But it is a good question. It's certainly unsafe, and I would want to talk to somebody. Just for anyone who is still, thinking about, do I want to be a police officer? Maybe this is a good opportunity. Maybe I want to look into civilian opportunities. Check out tps.on.ca/careers. I know I gave you the torontopolice.on.ca earlier, but both will work. And Q was gracious enough to put it on screen, so we are putting it on screen. I didn't see my wife watching, but I'm going to say hello just in case you just forgot to mention it. So if you're watching with the kids, I hope you're enjoying snack time. I love you guys, and yes, just in case. And it may be for replay. I don't want them to think I'm not talking. I don't want them to think that I'm not thinking of them because I am. See, there we go. What are we talking about here? Akila says he wishes that he could put his foot out the window when he's driving, but he's not that flexible. Okay. Is there a CC for age, or is it open? Does that mean, are you talking about for application? What are we talking about here? I don't know what you mean by CC. Excessive acceleration or spinning tires at light. So I don't know the context for this, but excessive acceleration could be careless, could be stunt for racing, depending on the observations made. Spinning tires is any intentional loss of traction is stunt driving, comes with a 14-day impound and a 30-day license suspension, and your insurance then soars because, that's not acceptable behavior. Launch control is, what do you want to talk about launch control specifically there? It's not a legal thing. Listen, hammering the gas is going to, or rapid acceleration, if it doesn't, interfere with anybody else, if it doesn't break traction, may not be illegal. I would think that people will be diving for their lives as you do stupid things in a car, because people, the reason that roads work, it's cooperation, right? We're all in it together. We're all on the same roads at the same time, and we anticipate what is going to happen next. We think you're going to accelerate at a reasonable speed, and when you don't do what's expected of you, bad things happen. And going back to the folks who were saying CC, if you meant concealed carry, we do not have concealed carry permits in Canada. It is not something that civilians can carry. Police are the only people who carry firearms, except for, armed guards who are carrying money. If they're armed guards in that capacity, they can carry open carry weapons, but they're licensed to do so. They're the only people carrying weapons other than the military when they're deployed. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. What is this? What inspired you to go into law enforcement? So a couple of things. Chips as a kid, but even before that, I got a 3-wheeled electric motorcycle my mom bought me. So motorcycles and policing, all my mom's fault. Can't blame me for nothing. I had a cousin, my dad's cousin really. He was with the FBI, and both his son and myself became police officers afterwards. So definitely inspired by them. But I had really great exposure to police officers when I was growing up. I knew at a very young age that's what I wanted to do, and I'm blessed to have been able to fulfill my dreams and become a police officer, and this has been the best thing ever. I can't imagine doing anything else. Okay. What is this? We talked about that. Is there a ticket for eating and driving? Fantastic question. We do get it once in a while, but we'll give you a couple of points anyway. The deal with eating and driving is it's not a specific law. There is no thou shalt not eat and drive. As long as you're consuming things that are legal, so it's no drugs, no alcohol, then you can do that as long as you're able to safely perform your duties as a driver. If you are unable to maintain control of your vehicle, if you're doing, weaving because you're having your third bowl of, Oreo Crunch, or what's it called, Cheerios, then it's careless driving, and you can be charged for that 6 demerit points plus the dollar amount. When it gets into distracted driving, it's specifically in Ontario, specifically going to be use of your cell phone or entertainment device. Now, I will say this, other provinces have different rules, and that is entirely a different deal because we are told places like Alberta, it may in fact be illegal to eat and drive. Just to remind everybody, we're here Monday to Friday, but today is Friday and we are not here tomorrow or Sunday. Back on Monday after this show. If you're watching and you're a regular, nice to have you back. If you're new here, you should be following us everywhere. You should get us here at Traffic Services on TikTok. You can get us Traffic Services on Twitch, Twitter. Where else are we? Traffic Services. You can get us on the podcast. It of course, is Traffic Services. Anchor.fm /Traffic Services. On Instagram, it's Traffic Services Toronto. And you know what? We post stuff all the time. So interact with us. Join us. Yeah, the water's great. Hop in. Is NOS illegal and why? So NOS is illegal. Yes, you can have the equipment installed, but you can either have no tank or the tank must be empty, is my understanding as to how it works. Using it, transporting it full in the compartment, I believe, is considered unsafe. There's a bunch of regulations about it, and I talked about it in a video a long time ago, and best to go look at the video because I had rehearsed and looked it up. Oh, it's illegal to purchase and illegal to sell. So apparently you can have the equipment, but you can't have the gas, according to Q. But that's beyond the deal. The idea of using something to accelerate and go fast on the road, it's not street legal at the very least. Q says you can have the tank with nothing inside of it, but you cannot have it connected or functional. Yeah, I don't know. There's a whole bunch of stuff. I talked about it in a video. You should go back and look at it. Do police practice any martial arts? Yes, we actually. I remember when I joined as a court officer, we were doing a bunch of jiu-jitsu, and they said, "Okay, you're about a yellow belt now." The fact is, we train for what we do, and we take elements of various disciplines, and then we train to win, and that's what we do. Are some of us ninjas? Yeah, some of us really are. There are some folks that are people who make me afraid. I know some folks that were court officers who became professional ninjas at our college, and they ninja-fied everybody they taught. But at the end of the day, we train to win. Okay. Can you have what is this? Can you have it? Oh, okay. Can you have? Oh, I understand now. The CC question is displacement, cubic centimeters for displacement for motorcycles at a certain age. So, thank you for clarifying with your brackets, because now I understand the context. So there is no limitation. You can have any size engine displacement as a motorcycle rider, regardless of your age. I know some jurisdictions, some countries, you can only have up to a certain CC limit, displacement limit, which really translates to how much power your engine can produce. There's no limit in Ontario. So if you get your license, you can have a 5,000 cc. I have a 1,500 cc, and you could have that as a brand new rider if you so chose. I would suggest having an entry level motorcycle so that you're not overpowered. You want to ride the bike. You don't want the bike to ride you. Let's see here. You can stop typing Q. We've covered it. We're not going to keep going there. Let's see here. Oh, Live Unit 975 says, good morning, Sean. Good morning to you. Thanks for joining. They're coming in from YouTube. Okay. And for those who are spammers, those who are choosing to try and instigate or make people's lives miserable, you may be effective at offending people who are in the chat. I'm not in the chat, so if you're trying to upset me, I'm sorry, you're failing miserably. What experience do you need for TPS? That is a great question, and the answer is go check it out on our website, www.torontopolice.on.ca/careers or tps.on.ca/careers. There is all the tonnage of information that you will need to know about becoming a member, including what the what's it called, income is as you graduate through different sections from cadet to fourth class and right down to first class, what your vision requirements are, what your academic requirements are. Everything is there. What is this? Why are engine brakes a problem in the city? They are noisy. They're very noisy. Yes, we don't like noise here. We're an anti-noise environment. Truth is, it's disruptive. What is this? Canadian trucker wants to know, what is this? Will they pass a law in Ontario that requires you to put lights on if your wipers are on? I drive a commercial vehicle, and it's horrible in snow and rain to pass or merge when you can't see the car behind you. Interesting. I'm not aware of any law to that. You're the first person, or this is the first message I've ever read that has ever talked about lights on your wipers. Interesting. I should get a picture of a Spam can with a soundbite. We may have to do that. We're really looking forward to getting a dedicated connection. For those who don't know, we are currently broadcasting using 3 separate means. We have a camera or a phone that is dedicated over LTE, transmitting and broadcasting, I should say, over TikTok for the live. We have another that is on Instagram, because it's the only way to get to Instagram unless we use weird hacks. And then we have the big old camera here that is giving us a nice what's it called? Not portrait. It is landscape mode. We're getting, for all the other platforms, we're broadcasting through a computer connection via Restream, which is fantastic for us. Why am I telling you this? Because we're using 3 different cameras, it's a little disjointed. I'm looking at different things different times, and we can't do all the special effects and multi-camera things that we have the equipment to do. But it doesn't work for some of it. So anyway, we're looking forward to getting on and using OBS or an equivalent when we're on a dedicated high-speed connection instead of using cellular. Yeah. Oh, that's a good question. We haven't talked about it in a while. But are G2 licenses extended until the end of 2022? Yes, they are. If you're G2 or G1, M1 or M2 for that matter, expired after March 1st or on or after March 1st, 2020, you are good on that expired license right up until December 31st, 2022, the end of this year. You need to get your full G before that expires, though. If it goes beyond, you need to contact the Ministry of Transportation and discuss what your options are going to be going forward. Will they make you start again? Will they extend it? Are there other plans? But I would be really, really concentrating on just trying to get her done now. You can do that by going to drivetest.ca and trying to get a test booked. Now, people say that it's not until next year. Our experience has been if you start at 5 in the morning and check every 15 minutes, there are always openings, cancellations, and new test dates added. Don't assume that it's 6 months away and you're just not going to be able to do it. There are opportunities, and there's still a long time to go in the month. And they don't go, I don't think they book beyond 6 months, but I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. Interesting. James McDonald says, not physically on your wipers, this is talking about lights, but when your wipers are on, your lights need to be on. Interesting. I don't understand the connection here, but yeah. Oh, because you're saying visibility is down because it's raining. Thus, when you turn your windshield wipers on, it's an automatic necessity to have your. Is that the connection, or is it an indicator that tells everybody you're wiping your windows because your windows are dirty? This is all news to me. I've just never heard about it. Sebastian says, can a traffic police determine if an import car is illegal relating to the whole Motor X situation with the Sky? So first of all, to import a right-hand drive vehicle like the Skyline, it has to be over 15 years old. And it has to have functioning signals, because if it doesn't have functioning signals, it needs a sign that says right-hand drive, because guess what? You need to tell people behind you to look at the other window for the hand signals. But they are legal to have as long as they're over 15 years old. Okay. What is this? I wanted to get defensive moves. Am I allowed to get it through any classes? So you can take self-defense if that's what you're talking about. Do you mean driving or self-defense? Defensive driving or defensive huck smacking? You know, my mother used to always call it huck smack. I used to take martial arts as a kid. I was really into it. I wanted to be a ninja. Can't you tell? And yeah, huck smack is what she said. Okay.
I need to insert a sound clip for Aaron.
Sorry, I put something in all caps in the chat because the question is just so repetitive. And everyone asking if you need physical stickers anymore on your plate.
No stickers needed. No stickers.
Renew online. New online.
Okay. When is the best time to apply to the Toronto Police Service? Right now is the best time to apply to the Toronto Police Service. We're hiring police officers right now. I think this year about 300 officer spots are open. You should jump on that opportunity because we don't know when the next one will be. Once these are full, we'll be full. Okay. Let's see here. We talked about this 25 times already. Okay. What is this? Oh, great question. A bike with a mounted motor, what is it classified as? It's an illegal motorcycle. It's a home-built motorcycle. It's not legal for the road. You cannot ride them. Period. Private property only. It is a motorcycle. It is not covered under any e-bike legislation. So it's a low-powered motorcycle, but it's a motorcycle. You need a license for a motorcycle. You need insurance. If you don't have insurance, that's a fine of up to $25,000. Additionally, you can get 6 months of jail. So not a good idea. Now, how would you make that legal for the road? Well, if you are somebody who could somehow submit them for evaluation to Transport Canada and allow them to issue a VIN number, vehicle identification number, then potentially you could get it licensed. But at the moment, a bicycle with a motor strapped to it, it just don't cut it. And we see them on the road, and then we charge those people. And if we don't charge them, it's because the person who didn't know it was illegal, and then the next guy charges them because it's going to happen. Don't drive these in the city. What's up?
Mike Harris is in chat.
Mike Harris, I see him. What's going on, brother? Thank you very much. Well, I can put a heart there. Look at that. I can like what he had to say.
Was that on TikTok?
No, it was on Instagram.
Oh.
Now, he really is. He is one of the few people who makes me feel short because he's taller than me and he has bigger feet than me. I wear a size 15. He's got bigger feet than me. So yeah, but
Mike.
Take it any way you want it. Let's see here. What is this?
I saw one motorcycle question in the Q&A, but it's way down there. It's just about, my phone just died too. It's okay, I have a backup.
Backup phone, activate.
Yeah, it was just about if motorcycles can park free in the city of Toronto, and yes, you can in Green P on-street metered areas.
Awesome.
So yes, and you do not have to pay for parking on the street, and there is designated motorcycle and scooter parking.
I got two good questions that just popped up. Austinator wants to know, can police, fire, or ambulance have to stop with the school by the flashing light? So, yes, police, fire, and ambulance all have to stop for a school bus with flashing lights. We are protecting those vulnerable road users, little children who might be running in front of it, so they have to stop just like everybody else. So we ask bus drivers when they see us with the lights and sirens and whatnot to please try and contain any children, make sure they're crossed and safe, and then deactivate it so we can continue going to where we need to go to save whomever we are trying to get to. We're either trying to save somebody, get to an emergency. We're doing real big deal stuff. Otherwise, why would we have the lights on? But we do have to stop. And many people think that they don't, but we do. I own a horse. Can I ride my horse on public roads? Yes. In Ontario, you can. I assume it's going to be everywhere that you can. We have many people in communities outside of Toronto who ride their horses. We ride horses in Toronto. We have a mounted unit.
I was actually hoping you were going to get to that question. I've never seen anyone other than the mounted unit in Toronto.
In Toronto.
Yeah.
Well, do we not have we not had any horse and buggies in doing?
Oh, that's right. I guess like downtown. Yeah, I've seen those like for weddings and stuff like that. Yeah.
It's totally legal. And you know what? Horses aren't necessarily cheaper than bicycles, but they're much better looking. And that's horsepower. You talk about how much horsepower you got there. That's a lot of horse.
You need the drum and cymbals for all these zingers, right?
I like this one.
There you go.
That's my favorite one. But this one is, I don't know. It doesn't suit me. I'm not that kind of DJ. Let's see here. How long does it take to get your full G license? Well, when you get your what used to be called the 365, which is now called an G1. A G1's good for 5 years. That's the entire time given to you to get through the entire process at its maximum before it just finishes. So how long? You either wait 12 months or you take a learner's or an approved class, driving instructor course, which reduces your 12 months down to 8, at which point you can then go for your G2, which you then have to keep for 12 months. So you do the 12 plus the 8, then you're at 20 months is the fastest you can get your G if you're successful across. Did I do the math right? No one was paying attention. They just assumed that I knew how to do math. I think it's a pretty simple one. Hopefully I didn't make a mistake. Okay. We talked about this. Are LED lights legal to have on your vehicle? Depends. If you're replacing your headlights, no. I believe that aftermarket headlights are not legal to be transferred into LED, that they have to be factory. But that may or may not be correct. But that was something we had a conversation about recently. In any case, you can replace certain lights with LED, but be careful because we see a lot of low-quality LED hardware being put onto vehicles that are not DOT approved, that are not high quality, and they do not function as designed or as intended, and you end up with safety issues. They must meet the regulations. They must produce the appropriate amount of light. Otherwise, you're actually putting yourself in danger. So please be very careful when you are modifying your vehicle to make sure that it meets the requirements of the law. What is the largest single ticket you can give out for a parking violation, and when can you expect our TikTok of you giving out a ticket like a ninja? Oddly enough, we have a ninja plan. We have a ninja video in the works. It's not, it's ninja-ish.
Oh yeah, the
It's
one
very
that we
ninja-ish.
have been planning for weeks and we haven't gotten around to it yet.
We are going to do it. It's happening.
Yes.
Before I go on vacation, it's happening.
So the question was, what's the most expensive?
Yes.
That's the accessible parking spots, which is $450. And then if you get caught with misusing an accessible permit, then you can get charged up to $5,000. And that's by you guys, the police.
Yeah, we lay that charge. But in terms of an actual parking ticket,
$450.
And it's a good one. And everyone who takes those spots, misuses those permits or spots, deserves that ticket in a big way. There are people who rely on that access and accessibility to get where they have to go. They can't do what you do. So folks who misuse that deserve bigger tickets. I think I suggested it should be no less than 1,000, maybe 2,000. Question from the chat is, it says, I saw bikes on the QEW in Toronto. What is the fine? Who do we call? You saw bicycles on the QEW? For real? Because we saw a video that looked like a highway, but actually it was Eastern Avenue. That was not it's a highway because any street in Ontario is a highway. The expressway, QEW and such, that would not be illegal. You can't be on the highway with a the expressway with a bicycle. Now, as to the video that BlogTO published or republished, because it was somebody who put it up online in advance, it was a bunch of young people on bicycles just all over the road, but they were just on Eastern and they were merging over, and it looked horrible, but I don't think it was quite that bad. It wasn't good. Nobody was wearing helmets from what I could see, and one person may have been doing a wheelie into oncoming traffic, which may have been unsafe. Yeah. But yeah, aside from that, they weren't breaking the law by being on that road. So if you're talking about that video, different. If you're talking about you were on the QEW and you saw them in person, you call the OPP. They'll come. They will come and deal with those people because they are not allowed to be there. Not allowed to walk there. Not allowed to bicycle there. Not allowed to be on a highway with less than 50 cc displacement, I think, is the deal. And they definitely don't have 50 cc displacement if they are pedaling. What is the darkest tint allowed on windows? Depends if it's Windows 95. Boy, does anybody have Windows 95? NT? How? Yeah. 30% light blockage on the windows left and right of the driver. Nothing on the front windshield unless you have a vehicle manufactured before 2017, at which point you can have a 3-inch or 75 millimeter tint strip or brow or sun strip, whatever you want to call it, across the top, from the top of the windshield down to the PS1 line or to the 3 inches, whichever one happens first. And that is the story there. Yeah. Now, if you are more than 30% light blockage, your vehicle is unsafe and your license plates can be removed and returned to the ministry, at which point you will be taking a taxi, an Uber, or, walking. Maybe you have a bicycle that folds up in your trunk and then you'd be okay. But it would be a bad day for you. Yeah, that's the deal for tint. Now, I have a question here. Police physical testing for the application process. What are the passing requirements? This is a question from Mike coming in from LinkedIn. I don't know what the standard is now. Is it 7.5 on the run? Asif, do you know what it is?
7 shuttle.
7.5 on the shuttle?
237 for prep.
And 237 for the prep. Best suggestion is go to our website, www.torontopolice.on.ca/careers. That's www.torontopolice.on.ca/careers, and all of the information about your requirements, as well as a link to the standard testing. I guess it's done by the OACP to get your certificates for physical and academic. So go check it out because they will have that all posted. The best source of that information is them. We do have TPS recruiting that has an account on TikTok. They're also on Instagram. You can contact them for information from a recruiting officer, and they'd be happy to give you direct information and also help recruit you. Let's see here. We already covered this. Exhausts with resonator delete. What is this? What? I press exhausts and resonator delete, and then it says, can a retired police car have amber lights? Amber lights are not regulated. Retired or otherwise, any car can have amber lights. Yes. Okay. Here we go. Trying this again. Are exhaust with resonator delete legal? Resonator and exhaust are both required equipment. A resonator stops certain tones from being droning tones from coming out of your exhaust. It makes it louder if you remove it. Making it louder may now create unnecessary noise. It may make it an improper exhaust system. So I will say that it's not permitted. If you get information from your mechanic who is a trustworthy one that is different, you can try your luck, but you may find yourself getting a ticket because you're creating too much noise. Again, that's what a resonator does, is it suppresses certain tones by changing the vibrate. I don't know. Sergeant Campbell knows this stuff. He was here, and he's not here today. Maybe he's watching, but he's on his course, so maybe not. Okay. What is the legal decibel level for decibel rating? I know what you meant, but so 74 decibels at idle is what a motor vehicle is supposed to be doing. A motorcycle in the city of Toronto is covered under a bylaw that says you can make up to 92 decibels of sound at idle. At the end of the day, any amount of noise that is considered unreasonable, unnecessary, could result in a charge under the Highway Traffic Act. It's not about hitting a certain decibel rating. It's about making an unnecessary amount of noise, which is somewhat subjective. It's going to be based on the officer making the observations. But you know who you are. If you're revving up to 9,000 RPM to do your idling or revving while you're at the intersection, that's going to be someone talking to you about your your noise. If you are, if you're disruptive in your behavior, so most of it's behavior anyway. You could have a 143 cylinder car. If you're idling and driving respectively, you're probably going to make a reasonable amount of noise, not an unreasonable amount. Is there a maximal decibel rating for horns? Not that I'm aware of. However, again, same thing applies, whether it be stereo, your exhaust system, your tires, or your exhaust. If you're making unnecessary noise, you can get charged under the HTA for that. What is this? Are you required to signal? What is this? Oh, are you required to signal the entering of a lane that has just begun, exit, off-ramp, dedicated lane? You are, okay. You're responsible to signal the move of your motor vehicle if it's going to, if there's a possibility of affecting anybody else on the road. That's a pretty wide stance. So, you gotta signal. If you're leaving your lane, you're going to be making a lane change. You gotta signal always. Now, does that mean that if you don't signal, you're automatically getting a ticket? No. Officers got to see it, or you cause a collision and it's got to be recorded somehow. Generally, for a charge to be laid. But should you? Yeah, it just makes sense to be a courteous driver to everybody on the road and signal your intention so other people can plan around you. Is it illegal if I drift on my own 10 acres of land? Yes. The only exemption under the Highway Traffic Act, which now applies for this charge of stunt driving on private property, the only exemption is that of actual purpose-built tracks, whether it be go-kart or regular. If you are just going to stunt drive on your driveway, your field, your underground garage, your above-ground garage structure, those are all covered under the law, which changed on September 12, 2021, and says you can't do it. And any of the things that count as stunt driving would still apply on private property. They would still result in a 14-day vehicle impound and a 30-day license suspension. No fun for you, and I would suggest not doing it. Now, we're not camping out in your backyard waiting for you to do it. That would be counterproductive. But if you are holding a meet on your 10 acres and people were doing stupid things on that property, expect that your neighbors are going to call if they see it. Expect that we would respond. They have those helicopters and things. We don't have helicopters, but other people have helicopters. Okay, time check. 4 minutes. We're going to be wrapping up soonish. Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Sorry. So where can Instagram go?
Do you mean as a company or
Don't go there. Where can the viewers of Instagram go when you cut off?
If you are watching on Instagram, know that we only have a couple of minutes. And you know what? We might do a secret spicy, not spicy, but secret squirrel. That's where I was going. We might go for an extra few minutes on the other channels, which means if you are on Instagram, you're going to be left out. So my suggestion would be to hop over to TikTok at Traffic Services, or join us at Traffic Services Toronto, which is our YouTube channel, which also happens to be the archive of everything we publish anywhere. You can watch all of our stuff there, including every episode of the Q&A that we've done for Ask a Traffic Cop, as well as the video formatted version of TPS Traffic Jam. I'm going to make sure that we have a playlist that's got those all organized nicely for you. In any case, come over to Traffic Services on Twitch. You can get us at Traffic Services on Twitter. However, you can't actually ask us any questions there because it's broken. What is this? Do you have a personal IG? I do. In fact, you can get me on Twitch, Twitter, where else? Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram at VoiceOver Cop. VoiceOver Cop is where you can get me. And I am nowhere near as regular on, as a poster on those as I am here. My focus is Traffic Services. That's what I do most. But I do post up, random photos on Instagram when I can. I do go live and post stuff on TikTok on occasion. I used to be more diligent about being there. I need to start doing that again. I keep saying that, and then I'm not, because time is something I don't have a lot of, but I do try and do it. Is it illegal to carry a firearm without a license? We don't offer licenses to carry, but you can own a firearm legally and transport to a range if you have a license and you have a membership to a range. You can't just drive around with it. What is this? What are we doing? Whoa. I'm sorry, but no. You can take, what is this? Yes. Okay. What else here? We covered that. We covered Mike's question. Okay. Is it illegal to use rock lights on the road? Well, by rock lights, I assume that you are talking about, oh, by the way, 1 minute and 14 seconds till Instagram says bye-bye. So if you're just joining us, hop over to YouTube, Traffic Services Toronto, or any one of our other social media platforms. I won't address it again, even though we're leaving in 104, 103, 102, 1 minute left. So back to the rock light question. Those are basically heavy-duty underglow. As long as they are projecting down and not to the sides, if the bulbs are not visible, you're only glowing on the road, and it's not a restricted color like red, green, or blue, you should be okay. We suggest, however, and would prefer that you don't use them while you're driving. We think they're distractions. And you off-road, obviously no issues. On-road, if it violates any of the things we were talking about, could result in charges for improper headlights, taillights, or, for instance, if they were flickering, could be in intermittent flashes of red light. Oddly enough, we were talking about flashes of red light, and people said, well, what about signals? Aren't those flashes of red light? So the charge under the Highway Traffic Act is intermittent flashes of red light. And if you define what intermittent is, it's not a regular flash like a turn signal. It is a strobing or irregular pattern. So it really depends for that particular charge, which basically looks like a police light. Okay. What authority do campus police have? It depends if they are truly police. If they're special constables, then they would have more authority than that of security officers. But many places have campus security. So, so special constables have the authority to arrest for both, what do you call it? Oh, my brain just shut off. I was talking about traffic, and I want to talk about criminal code, and my verbiage just left the room. Indictable in summary, thank you. So a civilian can only arrest for indictable offenses found committing, whereas a special constable can also arrest for summary conviction and dual or hybrid offenses. Well, actually, civilians can arrest on hybrid as well, with the assumption that it's the prosecutor. Anyway, we're getting too far down the rabbit hole. When you talk about private property, there's some additional authorities. But what do you want to know really? Because authority is a big gaping hole, and I can't spend the next 3 days talking about it. But if you have a more specific question, let's discuss it. What is this? Can you have a photo of your ownership and insurance? No. You can have the original or a photocopy, true copy, both sides of the ownership documents. It has to be of a valid copy. It can't be of your original from 1972. Your insurance has to be the original pink slip or an electronic version by way of an application, an app provided by your company. Those are the options, but you can't have photos of them. Those are not sufficient. And your driver's license must be the original. Let's see, what is this?
Can't Talk Fridays.
Can't Talk Fridays. It's not Friday, it's Can't Talk Fridays. What qualifies as an illegal vehicle mod? Simplest of answers, anything that is illegal. Sorry. Illegal there's so many different laws there. I can begin to give you a list of what is illegal. It is probably easier to tell you that the things that are on your vehicle stock are most likely legal. And when you modify those to anything outside of what is stock and approved, you are risking changing something to that is illegal. You cannot take off your steering wheel if you have an airbag, because removal of an airbag is illegal. Taking out your exhaust system, all these things that manufacturers put things on cars, they put those things on cars to meet the requirements of the Highway Traffic Acts and the jurisdictions that they're selling them in. So if you're taking something that they put on off, you're probably making it illegal. And obviously we care about the ones that make it unsafe, which is where we concentrate our time. Okay. But yeah, ask more specific questions and we will give you more specific answers. Thoughts on crossing a double yellow line? Double yellow means that the traffic on the other side is coming at you and that the line is suggesting it is not safe. So is it against the law to cross the line? No, not in Ontario. You can't get a ticket for crossing a line. However, when you cause a collision on the other side of that line, yes, you can be charged for careless and or many other things. So I obviously suggest you listen to the lines, because the lines know stuff that you might not. But is it illegal specifically because there's a painted line? No, they're not enforceable on their own. Scrolling, I'm doing a little bit of roulette. Speaking of roulette, I got some new toy that I got to bring into the studio for next week. I can see that nobody in this office cares, but
Sorry, I was typing.
I got a spin wheel. like
Oh.
like a game wheel,
Like Wheel of Fortune.
like Wheel of Fortune with write-on, wipe-off surface, so we can pick topics, we can play
that'll
a
be
game.
fun.
We're gonna spin for things. I don't know what we're gonna spin for, but it's gonna make noise and it's gonna annoy people. I love it. So.
There's a digital form of that wheel.
I don't care about digital. It's more fun. I got it. I bought it at auction. It's a cool thing. Is citizens arrest a real thing? It most certainly is. Citizens do have the ability to make an arrest for a criminal offense that is considered indictable. It's the more serious offenses, like we were just talking about. So is it something you should do? Well, here's the deal. If you make a mistake, you're criminal. You are liable for the mistake you make. So if you arrest someone that was not arrestable, you've now broken laws. So, and you are personally liable. It's not one of these Good Samaritan things where, well, I thought I was arresting them. I thought I had the authority. No, you're going to get sued. And you might get hurt. I can tell you that if you put your hands on someone who doesn't want to be arrested and you don't know what you're doing, chances are you're going to get hurt. So my suggestion is be the best witness you can be. Call police if you have someone there. And I'm not saying don't let some, big guy beat up an old lady. I'm not telling you to just stand by and do nothing. Being a good Samaritan and coming to the aid of someone in need is a good thing. But arresting someone is a different situation. And if you haven't been trained in it, it could create a lot of headache for you. Good Samaritan Act, I believe, covers you for first aid. I don't think it covers you for arrest, but I'm not entirely sure. This is a good googly experiment for you. Someone can let me know. But it's been a long time since I was covered. When I was an auxiliary, I knew all sorts of wonderful things about what my powers were. Now, as an auxiliary, I was covered by the Toronto Police because I was acting on their behalf as an auxiliary officer. But anyway, I'm still assuming that if I made a mistake, I'd be in a bad place. Let's see here. What is this? What if you go through a red... The question is, what if you go through a red light and you're not pulled over? What if a tree falls in the forest and no one's around to hear it? That's the same question, right? The deal is that if you get away with something, you may have gotten away with it. If you cause a collision, you cause a collision. If you get pulled over, you're responsible. If you go through it and there's a camera there, it'll take a picture and send it to you. The idea of stopping for red lights is for safety, for everyone, because you may get through one day and not hurt someone, and you may get through the next day and kill someone. So please follow the rules of the road. That's the biggest message here is we want to keep you safe. Okay. I think we've gone overtime. We have. Okay. Well, we're going to close on this because that's a good question. What happens if you drink and drive? Now, you put to immigrant, and I think you mean that you're a new person to Canada and you'd like to know about the laws in regards to impaired operation. So simply put, if you are driving a motor vehicle and you have more than, if you have 0.08 and above blood alcohol content, that is criminal. And you would be arrested and charged for impaired operation. You would be either taken to a station to perform a proper breath test, or you might be arrested roadside, or you'll be arrested roadside either because you were impaired and caused a collision, or your driving was such that there was a belief that you were under the influence of alcohol at the time. In any case, the process of being charged is really not what we're going to focus on. But the fact is, it's against the law. You could hurt someone. You could hurt yourself. We take it very seriously. We are always looking to take impaired drivers off the road. Last weekend, we arrested 16. The weekend before, I think it was 19. The long weekend before that was in the 30s. It's still a problem here. And there are far more options available today than ever. And you don't have to. And never had to put lives at risk so you could get home. Buses, taxis, Ubers, walking, bicycles, so many options. But don't drive a car. Don't drive a motor vehicle or conveyance of any kind. E-bikes count. You cannot operate an e-bike under the influence of alcohol. It's against the law. So there you go. Don't drive impaired. And I think that's it. What else? Anybody want to talk about impaired driving? Ask if you want to say anything about impaired driving.
It's bad.
It's bad. He says bad, don't do it. Yeah. But seriously, we're the traffic services unit. That's our bread and butter, looking for impaired drivers, charging them and getting convictions. That's what we do.
Don't be a part of the stats on Mondays. Update.
And we announce the stats on Mondays, or sometimes we keep it to Fridays. Depends on the flavor of the week. Let's see here. Okay, I like this question, so let's get into it. Why are police able to use phones when driving? So police are not the only ones who can use phones when driving. Police, fire, and ambulance are all exempt. And we're not just exempt for phones. We are exempt for phones, two-way radios, and our devices inside the vehicle, like computers. Why? Well, why do you think? Because we need to talk to people, not because we want to order pizza or find out if the Jays won. The goal is to find vital information that relates to public and officer safety while we're on our way to a call. Sometimes it's getting updates from a supervisor about things that matter in the moment, not when you get there, let's read up. Because when we get there, there might be bullets flying. There might be people dying. There might be reason that we need to know something right now. And if it was somebody that you cared about that we were coming to help, you would be very happy to know that we get that information, as opposed to, waiting. And yes, paramedics can use them while driving. And this is not to suggest that we are making it a blanket okay. It is legally okay, but our policies are that we are not going to use it unless necessary. It is preferred and advisable to pull over to the side of the road if we need to, but we're still exempt. Even our two-way radios, which everyone says, don't use your phone, use your two-way radio. But guess what? That's illegal to use unless you have that exemption. So are paramedics allowed to use them? Yeah, so are fire, because that's the deal. Okay, that is it. Question from about when are we going to start hiring younger officers? The minimum age is 18, but you need to be a good candidate. At 22 years old, you might be a good candidate. The average is 32, I think. Average age is 32, and that's not to say we won't hire a 22-year-old. It just means that the average is 22. I had somebody in my class that was 52. I think it was 52. I was 38 when I patched over. Now, I was a court officer before, so I'd been on the job for a number of years within the service, and I transferred to police constable. But I think it was 37, 38. Anyway, that is it. That is all. We are saying goodbye because we went way long, and I need to drink a lot of water. But it's been a blast. Have a wonderful weekend. Stay safe. If you're going to drive sober. Any magical words of encouragement? If you're going to park sober.
Park sober and legal, because I'll be out there tomorrow enforcing.
Yeah, you follow the signs. They're there. They're clues. They're there to. The goal is to keep the city moving, just be safe out there.
Have a good weekend.
Ask if anything from you. He's a Raptors fan. That's what he's saying.
We're having a side conversation.
A side conversation. Fantastic.
Bye, guys. Have a safe weekend.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5.
James, you make a good point about how many people who got away with it.
2, 1, 0.
All right.